Hello dear student, this is Neelam Joshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and as I am taking data structure subject and the subject code is CS303. So today we will discuss about the topic which includes various types of data structure, and these are the outline which we are covering in today's video lecture, in which we will discuss about the prerequisites of the topic, then problem objective, and we will discuss about data structure and various types of data structure, some real life example based on these different types of data structures, and then identifiers and keywords, variables and constant, and abstract data type. Basically these terms are generally used in the context of programming language, but as we are using either C or C++ programming language whenever we are solving the problem which is related with data structure, then here we need to know about the basic concept of this programming language. So here I am just relate these particular content with data structures, and then we will discuss about the assignment which is relevant with the today's video topic, and then learning outcome, and finally references. So moving ahead with prerequisite of topic. So in my previous video we already discussed about what do you mean by data and information, and how data is differ from information, and also we discussed a lot about the data processing, that how the data processing is maintained in the form of cycle, and how the cycle is basically formed a sequential approach, and various types of occurs during processing of data. So basically for better understanding about today's video lecture, you just have idea about all these topics which already discussed in my previous video. So just watch my previous video to better understand about the topic which is I am just starting now. But before starting the topic, I am just given the idea about these pre-requirement, that what is the means of data. So basically data are the characteristic or information which usually in the form of numericals, that means they collected some specific types of entity in the form of raw material, and information is a processed organized data presented in a given context as is useful to human. So we can say that data is just a raw material, and whenever it processed and converted into some specific meaningful form, then this meaningful form is known as information. Okay, and whenever we talk about the data processing, then it is just relevant with the process of transferring raw data into a meaningful output. Okay, and as I already told you that this processing is done by using some specific steps in the form of data processing cycle, which included some data collection strategies, data input methods, data processing units, as well as the final resultant as a data output. Okay, and also here we need to know that what type of errors occur whenever we are doing any data processing. Then you should have knowledge about these type of error. So basically the most relevant error which mostly occur in processing time, these type of errors are just like computational errors. Sometimes we also feel some overflow types of errors, and also some truncations errors. Sometimes some specific errors depend on the accuracy, and this type of error generally relate with the transcription errors, computational error, and algorithmic and logical error. So this is all about the pre-requirement of today's video lectures. Now moving ahead with the topic which is just discussed in this problem objective. So here we will discuss about introduction of data structure and its type. Then we will discuss about variable, constant and identifiers in detail, and also we will discuss about abstract data type. Now moving ahead, what is data structure and its type? Here, as according to the definition of data structure, which is mentioned here, that it is the logical or mathematical model of a particular organization of data, which is called a data structure. Basically, we may know that data is organized in many different ways, and here the choice of a particular data model depends on two types of consideration. Like in first consideration, we will just understand that it must be rich enough in structure to mirror the actual relationship of data in the real world. Okay, and in the second consideration, we will just consider the point where the structure should be simple enough that one can effectively process the data whenever necessary. So basically in this way we are just defining how the data structure is just uses on the basis of some logical and mathematical concepts. And in other words, we can define data structure as a specialized format for organizing, processing, retrieving and storing data. While there are several basic and advanced structure types, any data structure is designed to arrange data to suit some specific format and some specific purpose, so that it can be accessed and worked within an appropriate way. And here we can also describe data structure in the manner where it defines as the programmatic way of storing data so that data can be used efficiently. And almost every enterprise application uses various types of data structures in one or the some other way. So basically we can say that we need to know data structure in very detail, because as applications are getting complex and data rich, so some specific types of problem arises. So for handling those types of problem, we need specific types of data structure. Like the problem is generally arises in the form of data searching, and in the form of processing speed, and also in the form of multiple requested. So to solve these such type of problems, data structure come to rescue. And here data can be organized in a data structure in such a way that all items may not be required to be searched, and the required data can be searched almost instantly. Okay, now here the data structure is divided into two types, primitive and non-primitive. Basically this division is generally based on the main functionality of data structure. So this is the main portion of data structure is divided into two form, but actually data structure and its type is defined here in this diagram. That first of all, the data structure is divided into context of primitive and non-primitive. Then this primitive data types is again further divided into some other specific types. For example, integer, floats, double, etc. And here this non-primitive data structure is defined into two categories. The first one is linear and the next one is non-linear. And it is further divided into some another form. That means linear is categorized in the form of array, structure, stacks, queue, etc. And the example of non-linear type data structure is trees and graphs. Here in this first category of data structure type is primitive data type. So basically primitive data type is just uses in the context where it is represented as a basic type of data type which provided by programming language as a basic building block, and it is also represented in the form of built-in type is a data type for which the programming language provides built-in support. So basically we can say that depending on the language and its implementation, primitive data types may or may not have one-to-one correspondence with objects, and we can say that it usually expects operation on basic primitive data types to be fastest language construct. And there are some example of primitive data type is just represented in the form of as mentioned here in integer, float and double. So here the first is integer primitive data type is just uses in the manner where this data type generally store whole numbers from the range of -21474833648. I am just writing this number. So the integer range is defined here. I am just using this representation in the form of the range is started from this number, and it is just available till this number. This is indicating here minus value and this is indicating here plus value. Okay, so we can say that int is generally preferred data type when we create variables with a numeric value. Okay, and this is generally uses variety of precisions, like we can use integer, int, short, long, byte, this type of precisions whenever we are using integer value. Okay, next one is float primitive. If we should use floating point type whenever we need a number with a decimal value, like for example 8.88 or sometimes like 2.12 etc. That means whenever we needed pointing value, decimal value, then in that particular manner we uses floating data types, and these floating variables is also available in different types of precision, like we can use float, double, real, double precision whenever we are using floating point number. Okay, now the next one is double. Double is just like a floating data type, but basically it can use to store fractional number. Okay, and here I am defining non-primitive data structure in the form where non-primitive data structure is just used to handle more complicated data structures and are derived from primitive data structure. Basically, non-primitive data structure emphasizes on grouping same or different data items with relationship between each data item. So for this purpose, it is categorized into two ways: linear and non-linear data structure. So here this diagram represented some non-linear data structure types. So the most popular linear data structure type is defined in the form of array, stacks and queue. This is the most popular example of linear data structure type. So first of all we will discuss about array. Array is used in the form of collection of items stored at contiguous memory location. This is basically the simplest type of data structure in the form of linear or one-dimensional array. And by linear array we mean a list of finite number n of similar data elements. referenced respectively by a set of n consecutive number, which is usually started with number 1 and till the number n. Okay, so we can say that array is a collection of items which is stored at contiguous memory locations, and basically here this contiguous memory location is generally store multiple items of the same type together. That's why this make it easier to calculate the position of each element by simply adding an offset to base value. That means the memory locations of the first element of the array. And generally we can use the name of array for the particular representation of the number of elements of array. Okay, next is stack. Stack is a linear data structure which follows a particular order in which the operations are performed. Like it follow the particular order in which operation perform is just the last in first out order, and sometime it is also known as a first in last out. That means it depends on the situation where we can use the stack, and for this purpose we are just taking the example of just a real life example, like if we are taking a number of plates in the form of stacks, which is represented as one another in some canteen. Okay, then the plate which is at the top is the first one to be removed, and the plate which has been placed as the bottommost position remains in the stack for the longest period of time. So simply it follow either the form of last in first out, or we can say that first in last out order. Okay, now moving ahead with the next type, which is queue. So here queue is just like stack, except it opens from both ends. Means queue is generally the linear data structure which follow a particular order in which the operation are performed, like it uses first in first out order. For example, if any queue of consumer for a resources where the consumer that came first is served first. So basically here the difference between stacks and queue is represented in the form in removing of item. Means in a stack we remove the item the most recently added, but in a queue we remove the item the least recently added. Okay, and rather than these three, there are some other type of linear data structure. Examples are also used, like linked list is also a very important example and type of linear data structure. Basically linked list is used as a collection of data of same data type, but the data items need to be stored in consecutive memory locations. Okay, and another example of linear data structure is circular queue, DQ. Means these are just the varieties of different types of queues. Now moving ahead with non-primitive non-linear data structure types. So basically the most popular category of non-linear data structure is just divided into two specific portion, in which the first is covered by tree and the second one is covered by graph. Basically tree can be used always to produce a structure of hierarchy, and this hierarchy is generally form a tree either in the form of empty with no nodes, or a tree is a structure which consisting of one node which is called the root, and 0 or 1 node in the form of subtree. And here the graph allows you to represent a real life relationship between different types of data. Generally graph is a non-linear data structure which consisting of various types of nodes and edges, And here the nodes are sometimes referred in the form of vertices, and edges are just uses in the form of lines or arcs that connect any two nodes in the graph. So in this way we will just define these data structure. And here I want to mention that we will deeply discuss these all types of data structure types in detail in my further videos, which is generally used for second and third chapter of our syllabus. And here these both varieties of linear and non-linear data structure is generally uses some key points, like a key point in the form of data element arrangement. The means is what, whenever we talk about linear data structure, then the data element arrangement in a linear data structure are generally sequentially connected, and each element is traversable through a single run. And whenever we talk about non-linear data structure, then here the data elements arrangement is generally in the way of hierarchy connected, and it present at various labels. Okay, now here we are just using the word label, then we will also describe these both data structure on the basis of label. That means linear data structure having all the elements which are present at a single level, but non-linear data structure elements are just represented by multiple labels. Okay, and if we talk about the implementation complexity, then in the linear data structure case, these are very easier to implement. Okay, whereas non-linear data structures are difficult to understand and implement as compared to linear data structure. As well as we will define these both on the basis of traversal techniques. Means linear data structure can be traversed completely in single run, and non-linear data structures are not easy to traverse and needs multiple runs to be traversed completely. Okay, and if we are discussing about the memory utilization of both these structure, then linear data structures are not very memory friendly and are not utilizing memory efficiently, whereas non-linear data structure uses memory very efficiently. And the time complexity of linear data structure is often increases with increases in size whenever we are using either array, list, queue, stacks, whatever. Okay, and in non-linear data structure the time complexity often remains with increase in size. Okay, and the example generally we are using in the case of maps, trees, graph, etc. So in this way we will just describe how linear data structure is differ from non-linear data structure. Now moving ahead, these are the real life example of some specific techniques which we already discussed, like this is the example of queue. Means here the first who enter in the queue as a first node, which is first entry is known as the front of queue, and the last candidate or last key in the queue is just represented as a rear of queue. So here the means is that who is available in the first point is generally processed first order. Okay, in first order. Okay, and here this example represented the stack formation. This is the bookshelf stack. Okay, here in this bookshelf we are just putting some books, and here the book which is at the top, that means the first book which is represented at the top place is just removed first, and then we can say that the bottommost position book, that means this book, remains in the stack for the longest period of time. uh, and here this is the real example of tree, and it is also represented a graph example. That means any tree is also a graph, but not always vice versa true. Okay, so here this book is categorized into two part in the form of hierarchy, in which we are just describing in the form of chapters. So here I am using two chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Then it is further divided into the child node, which representing the first chapter in the form of section 1.1 and 1.2. And here in the hierarchy, the second chapter is also further divided into two portions, section 2.1 and section 2.2. Now it is again further subdivided into some portion of 1.2.1 and 1.2.2, and again the same procedure is followed for section 2.2. So here the means is that the book is just one word. Okay, but whenever we are going in the depth of this book, then we are just further processing to find out the particular element from the book. Okay, now what is identifier and keywords? Here identifier are basically names given to program elements such as variables, arrays and functions. Basically identifiers are the value which is used to define different programming items, which is represented in the form of these particular element. And whenever we talk about keywords, then C has set of reserved words, which often known as a keyword, that cannot be used as an identifier. That means keywords are predefined words that get reserved for work in progress, that have special meaning and cannot get used anywhere else. Now moving ahead, variables and constant. Here variable is defined as a meaningful name given to a data storage location. That means the name memory location which temporarily store data that can change while the programming is running is known as variable. And here I have to mention that the type of variable generally indicates what kind of value it will store, and the name of variable is known as identifier. And whenever we it is divided into two portions, numerical variable and character variable. Whenever we talk about constant, then constants are identifier whose value do not change. Means constant is named memory location which temporarily store data that remains the same throughout the execution of the program. Now moving ahead with abstract data type. Abstract data type is a data type that separates the logical property from the implementation detail. Or in other words, we can say that abstract data type is a class for object whose behavior is defined by a set of values and a set of operation. And the definition of ADT only here mention what operation are to be performed, but not how these operation will be implemented, and it does not specify how data will be organized in memory and what algorithm will be used for implementing the operation. That's why it is called abstract, because it gives an implementation independent view, and the process of providing only the essential and hiding the details is known as here abstraction. Okay, so we can say that the user of data type does not need to know how that data type is implemented, and for this purpose it generally covers the three specific points in the form of data type name, domain and operation. And by covering these three aspects, abstract data type is generally defined. So here in this example we can say that the name of data type is generally here is defined in the form of clock type, and the domain which we are using here as each clock type value is the time of day in the form of hours, minutes and seconds, and the operations which we are performing in this abstract data type is set the time, return the time, print the time, increment the time by second, increment the time by minute, increment the time by hour, 1 hour, and compare the two times to see whether they are equal. So in this way we are just defining that how the data type, abstract data type, is generally used and operate to perform on without any idea of how they are implemented. Okay, and for following these operations it generally uses some specific functions like get, which is used to return an element from the list at any given position, insert, where insert is used as an element at any position of the list, and we use remove, which is used to remove the first occurrence of any element from a non-empty list, and we also use replace, which is used to replace an element at any position by another element, and we also use size, which is used to return the number of elements in the list, and we included is empty and is full function, where is empty return the true if the list is empty, otherwise return false, and is full represent and return true if the list is full, otherwise return false. So basically these operations perform by using these specific functionalities, and here this is the assignment which is based on the today's video, and here in this assignment you just give some option which choose the best data structure for each option. So just read this assignment and give the answer, try to give the answer by own self, like what type of data structure we needed here. Okay, so just read each point uh, very deeply and understand the means of each point. Like the first one is attending a webinar but don't know the size and members can add dynamically. So just think what type of data structure we need here. Next, performing undo and redo operation. So think over it. And next is evolution of an expression. And next one is to implement printer spooler so that jobs can be printed in the order of their arrival. So this is the assessment is generally check the clarity of topic, and there is no need to submit this assignment on LMS. We will just discuss this assignment in detail whenever I am taking your online lectures in the form of webinar. So till then just think over it and just try to answer it by own self. Okay, and here the learning outcome of today's video lecture. In today's video lecture we have just discussed about various types of data types and some keywords, variables and constant, and some real life applications of data structure. And I conclude my topic in the form where data structure is very essential portion in computer programming, because data structure is basically based on selected or design items to store data for purpose of working on it with various algorithms, and each data structure contain information about the data values, relationship between the data and the function that can be applied to the data. Okay, and in my coming video we will discuss about various types of operation performed on data structure. Till then thank you so much to all of you, and these are the shallow points And here are the reference which I have used for the preparation of today's video lecture. And thanks again.